Bible Characters, Genesis Series 5, Part 3. Keturah. Keturah was Abraham's second wife after Sarah's death and the mother of 6 of his sons. And while the Bible doesn't detail much about her, we learn about God's abundance and the importance of perseverance, even in the face of obscurity from her story. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 1, we learn that Abraham remarried 3 years after the death of Sarah. Once his son Isaac was married off, Abraham, at the age of 140 years, married Keturah, who bore him 6 children. Some interpretations, particularly in Midrash, suggest Keturah might be the same person as Hagar, who returned to Abraham after being sent away. The life of Keturah, Abraham's second wife, offers lessons about God's abundance, the fulfillment of promises, and the importance of recognizing God's work even in seemingly quiet or shadowed lives. Here is a deeper look at those lessons we glean from the life or story of Keturah. God's abundance and fulfillment of promises. Keturah's story, particularly the 6 sons she bore to Abraham, demonstrates that God's blessings can extend beyond what we initially expect or understand. She represents a manifestation of God's promise to Abraham that his descendants would be numerous and bless the nations. Recognizing God's work in the unseen, Keturah's story, while brief in the Bible, highlights the importance of recognizing God's work even when it seems quiet or less dramatic. Her legacy serves as an encouragement to those who feel like they are in the shadows, reminding them that God sees and values their efforts. Different seasons in life. Some interpretations suggest that Abraham's time with Sarah represents a process of faith, work, and maturation, while his time with Keturah signifies walking in the manifestation of God's promise, abundance, and overflow. The importance of relationships. Keturah's relationship with Abraham, though secondary to his relationship with Sarah, is still significant and valued by God. This underscores the importance of recognizing the value and purpose of all relationships, regardless of their perceived prominence. The meaning of Keturah. Some interpretations suggest that the name Keturah, meaning incense or fragrance, reflects the beauty and sweetness of her character and deeds. Keturah's sons. Keturah's sons Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua became the fathers of Arabian tribes, and their descendants played a significant role in the history of Israel. Inheritance and blessings. While Keturah's sons received gifts from Abraham, they did not inherit the land promised to Isaac, highlighting the concept of a primary heir and the importance of God's chosen lineage. Keturah's role. Keturah could have been a concubine who was later promoted to wife status after the death of Sarah, or she could have been a wife from the beginning, though of lesser rank than Sarah. What other lessons do we glean from the life of Keturah? God's abundance. Keturah's story highlights God's ability to provide and bless, even after a period of seemingly barrenness in Abraham's life, like the death of Sarah. Perseverance. Keturah's story, though brief, reminds us that even those who may not be in the spotlight can have a significant impact, and that we should persevere in our faith even if our story feels insignificant. God's grand plan. Keturah's story reminds us that God has a plan for all of us, and that even in the shadows of history, we can play a part in his grand plan. Keturah had a part in helping to fulfill the promise that Abraham would become the father of many nations. Keturah surrounded Abraham in his declining years with care and love. She remained faithful to Abraham. Keturah honored her role as a wife to Abraham. This is her honor, the Lady Prophetess, Professor Smanya Abigail Carroll, PhD, at Visions of Glory International. Shalom.